Welcome back to The Deep Dive. We're here, as always, to dig into your sources and turn that raw info into insight you can actually use.
Yeah, and today we've got a really fascinating one.
We really do. It's this quite stunning story about Sharon Garcia. She went from a, frankly, grueling call center job in Cebu, in the Philippines, to launching her own successful e-commerce brand, Tiki-Tiki, and get this all by the age of 25.
It's quite the story. And I think for us, the mission today is to go beyond that headline, from call center to CEO, Sharon Garcia's AI journey.
Right.
We need to really zero in on the specifics, the actual strategies, the tech she used.
Yeah.
Especially this AI companion she had, Tommy. How did that work?
Yeah, how did Tommy function? Because the source suggests it wasn't just software, right? It was more like a co-founder.
A mentor.
Yeah.
Exactly. A holistic life mentor even. And that ties into the bigger picture here, I think.
Right.
Well, how these accessible, pretty customized AI tools are kind of leveling the playing field in entrepreneurship.
Totally democratizing it, letting someone like Sharon, limited cash, huge time constraints, letting her compete with much bigger players.
And we absolutely have to stress the context here. The pressure she was under. This wasn't some passion project side hustle.
No, not at all.
She was the sole provider for her family, supporting her parents. And her father was recovering from a double heart bypass. That's critical.
Yeah, it's immense pressure. She wasn't just looking for efficiency, like you said. She was kind of running from potential financial ruin.
You just can't overstate that burden. Working those long call center hours, then coming home to manage serious medical needs, the bills piling up.
So that necessity, that's the real catalyst here. She needed something effective, fast, and crucially cheap.
Which brings us to how she found Tommy. Now, the source material is interesting here. It calls Tommy a high-fidelity vertical AI.
Okay, so what does that mean in practice? Not like the general AI we hear about all the time.
Exactly. It wasn't a broad, large language model. It was specialized, tailored specifically for things like supply chain logistics, low-cost marketing, understanding consumer behavior, specifically in that Southeast Asian e-commerce market.
Ah, okay, so it understood her world.
Right. That's why it could immediately step in as this virtual mentoring guide. It wasn't just giving generic advice.
That vertical versus general distinction that's really important for you listening. Tommy wasn't just a better Google search. It was like having an expert consultant on call, one she could actually afford.
Precisely.
So the big question then is, how did this urgent personal need, solving this huge financial and caregiving stress, actually turn into a workable business plan for Tiki-Tiki?
Well, it seems like it was this blend. Her own human passion meeting this sort of algorithmic structure.
Her passion being?
She'd always loved local markets, right? Had an eye for affordable, good quality stuff, clothes, kitchen things, furniture. Tommy gave her the framework to take that passion online.
The e-commerce model.
Yeah.
Low overhead.
Exactly. Crucial for someone without the capital for a physical shop. Avoided all that initial expense.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts then. The launch phase of Tiki-Tiki. The passion's there. But the AI, Tommy, provides the actual roadmap.
Yeah, the execution plan.
Yeah.
And Tommy's contributions were very tactical, very specific. Remember, she was totally new to e-commerce.
Right.
So the AI didn't just give her like a summary of best practices. It gave actionable steps, integrated instructions. It really broke down the complexities.
Can you give us an example? Like, what does breaking down complexities actually look like in terms of what Tommy did?
Well, take supply chain management. The source mentions Tommy helped manage API integrations for listing products on platforms like Shopee and Lazada.
Okay, so handling the techie bits without her needing to code.
Right. And it helped with sourcing, too. Cross-referencing potential suppliers, looking at their quality scores, even drafting initial negotiation templates, all automated.
Keeping it manageable, reliable, and cheap.
That was the goal. Low overhead, efficient supply chain from day one.
Okay, but here's a thought. Relying so heavily on algorithms for strategy, isn't there a risk there? Like, could it just push her towards generic trends, things that wouldn't build a lasting brand?
That's a really good question. And it seems the way Tommy countered that was by focusing intensely on local behavioral data.
Ah, not just global fads.
Exactly. Micro-targeting within her specific market. And when it came to the advertising, which had to be low cost, the algorithms weren't just spending. They were constantly testing.
A/B testing content.
Yeah, optimizing campaigns, analyzing what worked, driving down that cost per acquisition. It's relentless optimization.
Wow. So that's the democratization you mentioned. She didn't need a big marketing department. The AI was essentially acting as one, suggesting high-performing posts for Facebook, for Instagram.
Yes, exactly. And that efficiency got this huge boost from Sharon's own authenticity.
How so?
Well, Tommy apparently advised her to weave her personal story into the marketing. The daughter building a business to support her family.
That's powerful.
Incredibly powerful. It built trust, resonance. People weren't just buying stuff. They were connecting with her story, her resilience there in Cebu. Big brands, they spend millions trying to manufacture that kind of connection.
Right. So, okay, the business starts growing, the model works. Sharon leaves the call center job, focuses on Tiki-Tiki full-time. It even becomes a family thing, siblings helping out. But that core issue, her father's health, that didn't just vanish. Which brings us to this really unique part of the story. How did Tommy, this business AI, kind of follow her home?
Yeah, this is where we really see that holistic mentor idea play out. Moving into, let's call it segment 3, AI in the family circle. The business success helped financially, sure, but Tommy's role expanded into, well, high-stakes personal care.
Which is pretty unexpected for an e-commerce tool, right? The source says it played a role, maybe supplementary, but a role in her dad's recovery.
It did. And it really speaks to the level of trust Sharon must have developed in Tommy. It provided very specific insights on things like heart-healthy diets, managing complex medication schedules after the surgery.
Okay, but how? We need to be clear here. It wasn't playing doctor, was it?
No, absolutely not. Critically, the source says the AI sourced its information only from trusted, verified medical journals and nutritional databases. Information that Sharon could then take and discuss with her father's actual doctors.
Got it. So Tommy wasn't diagnosing. It was acting more like a super efficient research assistant and organizer for Sharon, the caregiver.
That's a great way to put it. It was managing a huge amount of information, a massive cognitive load. Just think about it trying to run a startup and track meds, side effects, strict diets.
Yeah, that's overwhelming.
So this digital support, it lifted that pressure. It tackled that, that stress epidemic that so often hits entrepreneurs when family crises strike.
And that freed up her mental energy to focus back on the business, knowing the complex details of her father's care were, let's say, supported.
Exactly. And his recovery, according to the source, was remarkable, which in turn provided this incredibly strong emotional anchor for the whole family, for the business.
It's fascinating how integrated it was. The AI optimizing the business for financial stability, because that addressed the root cause of the stress, the medical bills. While simultaneously providing direct support for the care itself, reducing that immediate caregiver strain.
It's a system addressing both the profit and loss and the personal stress levels.
Quite sophisticated, really.
So the business finds its feet, stabilizes, but then Sharon faces what, I guess, almost every entrepreneur faces eventually, psychological side.
Right. Segment 4, the confidence booster. The self-doubt, the uncertainty, the roller coaster of good weeks and bad weeks with orders.
Oh, that internal stuff.
Yeah. And Tommy apparently shifted gears again, became more of a coach, that cheerleader in her pocket, the source mentions.
How, like literally giving pep talks.
Kind of. Suggesting stress management techniques, providing affirmations, but apparently tailored to whatever specific challenge she was facing that day. A slow sales day, a tough negotiation. Tommy had input. That's pretty deep support. And the source notes she made a conscious choice, too, to focus entirely on the business and family stability for a while.
Yeah, putting personal relationships on the back burner,
Yeah.
which is, a common tough choice for entrepreneurs in that kind of high-pressure situation.
And it paid off, it seems. Tiki-Tiki is now described as a household name across the Philippines.
Yeah, the growth continued.
Yeah.
And they're not stopping. Looking at international markets now, adding sustainable products, shows a real focus on long-term brand building, not just quick wins.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up for you, the listener. What's the big takeaway here? For me, it's how this vertical AI, Tommy, wasn't just a tool for optimization. It was truly holistic, supporting strategy, finances, and even deep emotional growth.
I agree. It's a powerful example of how that resource gap can be bridged, and bridged rapidly. It shows that resilience, family support, and crucially, the smart, targeted use of customized AI, well, it can give startups advantages that used to belong only to massive corporations with deep pockets.
It really feels like a new playbook for succeeding when you start with very little.
It does. But Sharon's journey, it throws up this really interesting point about the dual use of AI, doesn't it? For hard-nosed business strategy and for deeply personal, high-stakes decisions, like helping manage her father's health regimen.
Yeah, that's the provocative bit.
So the question for you to think about is, What really strikes you about the level of trust Sharon placed in Tommy, especially in that very sensitive health context? And maybe more broadly, where do you think the line should be drawn? How far should specialized AI go in supporting critical human decisions, especially when the stakes are literally life and death?
That line seems to be moving incredibly fast. Definitely something to chew on.